Pop culture history is full of proof that it's common for fans to cry over their favorite celebrities. But sometimes, famous people move each other to tears. Here are some of the things stars said that made other celebs cry. On the often emotional A Star Is Born press circuit, Lady Gaga welled up often, and she wasn't the only one. In one instance, referring to her director and co-star Bradley Cooper, she said, "There can be 100 people in a room, and 99 don't believe in you, but one does." And that was Bradley. In another interview, several members of the cast couldn't help but tear up as they heaped praise on one another. Appearing on Good Morning America, Gaga first seemed emotional listening to Sam Elliott, who said, "I've never been anywhere near someone like this that's as huge as she is on a worldwide level, and that's as talented as she is." The waterworks started to flow as she listened to Anthony Ramos tearfully describe how important his high school drama teacher was.
I grew up in the projects, yo. Virtually, I had no chance. And I had this woman that said, "I'm not giving up on you."
Then, Cooper was asked to elaborate on a previous interview where he'd called Gaga a revelation. Cooper said, "I'm just so glad God gave her the talent that she has, and he chose her, because that's quite a vessel to go through."
Because it's really what you do with it, and she's such a beautiful human being.
Nearly whispering as she cried, Gaga replied,
"So are you. Thank you, Bradley."
In the final days of President Barack Obama's administration, before handing the reins of the country over to Donald Trump, he called a press event to honor then Vice President Joe Biden. He spoke at length about VP Biden's career in public service, describing his years in the Senate and his dedication to the administration, unaware, of course, that in 4 years' time, Joe Biden would himself be president. President Obama said, "To know Joe Biden is to know love without pretense, service without self-regard, and to live life fully."
If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, you've got a problem. He is as good a man as God ever created.
Then, in a surprise move, President Obama called up a military aide and said that he was pleased to award Joe Biden the Medal of Freedom, the country's highest civilian honor. As the room erupted in applause, Biden turned away from the crowd, pulled out a handkerchief, and wiped at his eyes. At the podium, Medal of Freedom hanging around his neck, eyes still shining, VP Biden said, "Mr. President, you know as long as there's a breath in me, I'll be there for you. My whole family will be. And I know it is reciprocal, and I want to thank you all so very, very, very much." When Kim Kardashian turned 40, she received a gift from then-husband Kanye West that had her entire family in tears. West commissioned a hologram version of the late Kardashian patriarch, Robert Kardashian, best known as defense attorney and friend to O.J. Simpson during his 1994 murder trial. Robert passed away in 2003, but Kanye brought him back to life with his gift.
"You're 40 and all grown up. You look beautiful, just like when you were a little girl."
In a video that Kim shared to Twitter, the lifelike hologram reminisces about driving her to school, dances, and sings along to Barry Mann's "Who Put the Bump." The hologram told Kardashian, "Keep doing what you're doing, Kimberly. You are a beautiful soul. Know that I am always with you."
"I watch over you and your sisters and brother and the kids every day."
Behind-the-scenes video shared on her Instagram story shows Kim sobbing, dabbing at her eyes while she talks to Kanye over FaceTime. She wrote on Twitter, "I can't even describe what this meant to me and my sisters, my brother, my mom, and closest friends to experience together. Thank you so much, Kanye, for this memory that will last a lifetime." Zac Efron does it all. He acts, dances, and sings. So it makes sense that one of his biggest inspirations would be Michael Jackson. And though they never met, Efron says they once shared a memorable phone call. It all happened when Efron was traveling with Kenny Ortega, the man who not only directed the High School Musical movies, but also served as director and choreographer on a number of Michael Jackson projects. As Efron recalled on The Graham Norton Show, Jackson happened to call Ortega one day, and Ortega handed the phone over to Efron. At first, Efron wasn't sure what to say, and he told Jackson, "I'm Zac Efron. I'm a massive fan. I'm an actor, and you're like my hero."
When I didn't know what to say, I was just at a loss for words and rambling on.
Jackson was polite but brief and soon hung up.
And then he said, "That's really nice. Can you hand the phone back to Kenny?"
Then the phone rang again. This time, Michael was the one who spoke, saying, "Oh, this is Zac from High School Musical? I love what you do. I'm a huge fan."
And I lost it. I just lost it.
Sobbing on the phone, Zac told Michael how much he meant to him.
You're my hero. You're the reason I do what I do. Like, thank you so much, Michael, for everything.
Going on, he added, "Thanks for showing me how to dance, how to believe in myself, how to shine." The interaction resonated with the king of pop, who also began crying. At the end of their call, Efron remembered. Jackson said, "Dreams really do come true, don't they?"
I was like, Michael, you can't say things like that.
In 2017, Lin-Manuel Miranda was up for an Oscar for his work on Disney's Moana. How Far I'll Go, which Miranda wrote, picked up a nomination for Best Original Song. However, the first surprise of the night came when he walked the red carpet with his mother, Dr. Luce Towns Miranda. Stopping by E! News for a chat with Ryan Seacrest, Miranda was shown an unexpected video message from members of the Hamilton cast singing a special rendition of How Far I'll Go. After the message concluded with Taran Killam jumping in for an incorrectly timed "and Peggy" drawing a big laugh, Seacrest asked how the video made Lin-Manuel feel.
I hate you for making me cry before the Oscars have even started.
That's so cool.
That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's incredible.
It's hard to remember a time when Matt Damon and Ben Affleck weren't two of the most famous men in Hollywood. But back when they made Good Will Hunting, they were a pair of virtual unknowns. The childhood best friends co-wrote the screenplay together, and both starred in the film, which they were understandably nervous about when it came time to finally start shooting. Thankfully, though, there was a veteran actor on set to comfort them. Matt Damon told E! News before the film's release that their co-star Robin Williams made them feel welcome, and that furthermore, he made them cry. Damon said,
He put his hand on our head and he just said, it's not a fluke. You guys really did this. You really did it.
Years later, talking about the same moment in GQ, Damon said, "I remember Ben crying. Now, memory is a funny thing, as we know, so you would have to ask him." GQ did, in fact, ask Affleck, who admitted, "We both cried." Robin Williams would go on to win an Oscar for his role in Good Will Hunting. After Williams' untimely death in 2014, Affleck wrote on Facebook, "He made Matt and my dreams come true." Before she was Cinderella, and before she was one half of pop super couple Shamila, Camila Cabello was just friends with Shawn Mendes. The twosome collaborated on the 2015 hit I Know What You Did Last Summer, while Cabello was still part of Fifth Harmony, and they remained close in the years following. One morning in 2018, she awoke to news that Mendes had gone on Beats One with Zane Lowe and had spoken about her. After Lowe acknowledged the fact that both Mendes and Cabello write and produce much of their own music, Mendes said, "Oh my God, she's my favorite person in the whole world. I don't think you'll ever meet somebody who can feel emotion like her, in all aspects."
She can feel hurt like no other, but she can feel love like no other. And it's really amazing.
After watching the video, she tweeted, "I shouldn't be crying at this time in the morning, but I am. I love you so much, Shawn Mendes." Within the next year, relationship speculation began. Their chart-topping collaboration, Señorita, was released, and the rest is pop history. It's no secret that Glee star Lea Michele idolizes Barbra Streisand. She sang a number of Streisand songs on Glee, and she even once told Broadway World that she was planning to star in a revival of Streisand's iconic musical, Funny Girl, which never came to fruition. In fact, when an actual revival of Funny Girl was announced with Beanie Feldstein in the lead role, Just Jared pointed out that Michelle's name trended on Twitter thanks to fans connecting her so strongly with Streisand's legacy. Back in 2011, at the height of Glee fever, Michelle was invited to perform at a tribute to Streisand. She wrote in her memoir, Brunette Ambition, "I was hoping to meet her that night, but she was surrounded by a sea of people. I figured I had lost my chance forever." Instead, a few nights later after the Grammys, a chance meeting in the valet line gave Lea the encounter she'd always wanted. She wrote, "I felt a tap on my shoulder, and it was Barbara. And she said, I just wanted to say thank you for introducing me to your generation." The two hugged. When Babs walked away, Michelle wrote, "I started to cry hysterically. Sometimes you meet your idols and they don't live up to your expectations. But that moment was one of the best of my life. All of my dreams had come true." When Octavia Spencer moved to LA, she had an encounter people only dream of. Her car broke down, and Keanu Reeves came to her aid. But this wasn't the stuff of romantic dreams. Instead, Spencer was mortified. She told Graham Norton she was on her way to pick up a script, dressed very casually.
I was wearing sweats and my favorite college football T-shirt.
The icing on the cake was the bird poop that accumulated on Spencer's vehicle. As luck would have it, Reeves materialized and offered a hand.
Then all of a sudden, this guy comes up with his sunglasses and motorcycle helmet, and I knew immediately it was Keanu Reeves.
Without missing a beat, Reeves helped Spencer push her car out of the road. Ever since, she's been a fan. She told Meredith Vieira, "I go to his movies every opening weekend, whatever he has, because that was a sweet thing to do." Still, the two have never talked about it.
I will never remind him of that moment. Because when I say I was looking foul.
Imagine her surprise when Keanu Reeves showed up unexpectedly again, this time in a video montage of birthday wishes in 2020. For her 50th trip around the sun, Spencer explained to Jimmy Kimmel that she had to cancel her plans because of the pandemic, but was delighted to receive videos from people she loves. She told Kimmel, "Chris Evans is a dear friend. Katy Perry is a dear friend. And then Keanu Reeves surprised me."
And of course I started crying like a baby. Keanu, oh God!
At this point, Prince Harry's long-standing frustration with the royal family is very well documented. In particular, there are rumors of a feud between Harry and his brother Prince William. Back in 2011, though, the brotherhood seemed to be all love at William's royal wedding to Kate Middleton. As best man, Prince Harry gave a speech at the reception that reportedly took him 2 weeks to write. In her book, Harry, Life, Loss, and Love, Katie Nichol describes the speech as affectionate, warm, and funny. He told the guests that William was the perfect brother, and Kate was like a sister. Harry reportedly said, "William didn't have a romantic bone in his body before he met Kate, so I knew it was serious when William suddenly started cooing down the phone at Kate." Harry added that their relationship was his inspiration, and Nichol notes that the newly minted Duchess of Cambridge shed a tear. Unfortunately, the family dynamic has since shifted in a major way. A source told Us Weekly in 2020, Kate wishes she could speak to Harry. She misses him and fears she'll never be close to him again. The year 2016 was dominated by the return of two of music's biggest superstars, Beyoncé and Adele. The former finally released Lemonade, the follow-up to her self-titled visual album, while the latter's 25 served as the sequel to 21. Lemonade arrived alongside a visual spectacular so hotly anticipated that HBO made it free for everyone for the weekend, while 25 demolished sales records. Going into the Grammys the following February, both were nominated for some serious gold. Adele had a big night, racking up awards for both Record of the Year and Song of the Year. It was Album of the Year, though, that saw her shower Queen Bey in praise. She said at the podium, "The artist of my life is Beyoncé." She described Beyoncé's album as, quote, "so monumental, soul-bearing, and a glimpse of another side to you that you don't always let us see. And in a moment that proved stars are part of the beehive just like us," Adele added, "all us artists here adore you. You are our light." In one final tug at the heartstrings, Adele said, "The way that you make me and my friends feel, the way that you make my Black friends feel, is empowering, and you make them stand up for themselves. And I love you. I always have, and I always will." Moved to tears, Beyoncé repeatedly mouthed, "I love you." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.